Special guest with me. So the creator of this awesome clothing line called Zavage. I have the one and only Erwin. By the way, he has like some amazing hats out right now. Definitely gonna have to cop one of those. Alright, so like tell me how you got started. Like what made you think to take the S out and put a Z in front of it?
Okay, well, first of all, I got started because starting a clothing line was one of the things I wanted to do since I'm a business major, and it was like second or third on my bucket list.
Okay.
But it was one of the things that's like easiest to do while still in college or in class. So that's why I actually started. Now the Z, I changed the Z. My last name does end with a Z.
Okay.
It's Signs. But one of the main reasons, business-wise, was just to be different. Because if you look on Google or search for a shirt that has Savage on it, there's already a lot of just random people just putting Savage on a shirt and selling it.
Right.
But to create a brand, to be a little bit different, I changed it to a Z, and that way it has its own unique, way of finding it. They're like, oh no, that's not Savage, that's the one with the Z.
Right.
Just to be like different.
So where did you decide you wanted to have a panda?
Okay, and then the panda, I really like the panda because of the song Designer.
Yeah.
And then I actually do also work as a promoter at a nightclub, and what I use as the promotion on my Facebook page is Panda Entertainment.
Huh.
So the panda is actually what I have as the logo on my entertainment.
Okay.
It's not that big, but it's just a way for me to run ads and etc. And the panda I just incorporated with the word. And when I was first coming up with the first logo I have I was deciding whether to put the panda as the V or the A. I wasn't sure, but
You thought good.
yeah, apparently, because the bottom of the panda looks like a V, but I wasn't sure if either make it the V or the A. So I did some questionnaires with some friends. They were like,
I was gonna say, did you ask help? Did you ask for help, or did people be like, no, just leave it like that, just like that?
Yeah, I usually ask my social media, Snapchat, Instagram, and my closest friends. I was just like, what would be the best? It wasn't that many people, but from 10 to 15.
Okay.
The A. We started out with the A.
So did you think of Zavage by yourself, or did you have like a team behind you that you asked for help, or that you said you ran the idea with through someone?
Yeah, the people that I ran the idea across before I even started. Most of my closest friends. I have one of my friends named Natividad, and he's actually the one that helps me the most. Other than myself, that I do mostly everything. He's the one of the person I consult first, and he's the one that helps me with sales and etc. And he himself works as a manager or expiring manager at a Finish Line. Okay. So he has experience in sales, etc. So he does give me advice that way, what's selling at the store, stuff like that. And then other than him, just other friends there I know. My cousin started helping me too. She said she wants to do the women's clothing line. Okay. But yeah, the first one's mostly, my inner circle, my friends, whoever I surround myself with.
So who would you say, since you started from when it was just a baby or a thought in your head, who would you say is your biggest supporter?
My friend again is my biggest supporter. He's helped me through everything. We've currently, I think, have half a year since we started. We started around the end of December to actually with the idea and generating, but didn't make it official till the beginning of the year. Okay. And also just in general, my family is a big support. My mom and dad. My dad's always wearing one of the hats I gave him. He's always wearing it everywhere he goes. Nice. And they're just a big support. And other than that, just some friends that I have. They're regular customers and always throwing ideas out there, which is always great.
Okay. What do you feel like is the hardest part about having your own business at such a young age?
Well, the hardest part, first of all, with the business is that you're not going to be generating money, and it's not going to be an extra income. Because a lot of people think they're like, why don't you have money? You have a whole clothing line, but it's the opposite. Right. I'm reinvesting my money, and I am actually putting in money, not getting money in. Yet, as of right now. But it's a great experience to see somebody, wear your clothing brand or your hat that you don't know, and you're like, oh, feels so great. Right.
So do you see Zavage in your life still when you get older? This is something you want to make bigger, or is this just a cool thing to do for the now?
I see it being something bigger. In the future, I see having other people run it. Maybe my younger cousins or other people I'm involved with, but I do want to have other businesses, and I do want to continue running, have like a small community, nothing big, but just like still have the same people that supported me, you know, being able to give back to them, you know, just like some unique clothing, or maybe some ideas they have, if they have any ideas on t-shirts or something new, you know, I can always give it to them just for them being a support.
Oh, wow. So you want to maybe turn it into a family business, something that you will keep for like your relatives, like you said, and just to keep with you, but you definitely want to move on to bigger things.
Yes, well, I'm seeing like the clothing brand is more of a way to start off and then start expanding into other industries, like specifically just like in music, being able to work with like other artists. I have some friends that are artists. I was able to be part of a music video recently, and one of my friends, his name is Vibe Soul, and you know, just being able to sponsor somebody like an artist or a dancer, because myself I like dancing, specifically Latin style music, but I wish I could, when I have the time, you know, start learning to do hip hop and other dances like that. So those are the two industries I would like to get into specifically, is dance and just artists, you know, music. And like in the club scene, so I do work as a promoter, Euphoria nightclub in Baltimore.
I've been.
So that's good.
So like with the dance, do you see maybe you coming out with like probably morphing those together? So maybe you can come out with like a dancewear line, or maybe not a dance company, but like a what is the place where like a building where you have a rec room but for dance, basically? Yeah,
like a whole recreational, just like anybody can come in and practice or dance and stuff like that.
Or you can hold classes there, or is that something you're interested in?
Yeah, that would definitely be something I'll be interested in. One of the other things I wanted to do was actually open up a nightclub, but not specifically just like a nightclub, but somewhere where people can go and practice like their dance, or like an open spot for people to come in.
Yeah.
And you know, just having the brand as a Zavage Clothing, it can always come into, you know, Zavage nightclub, Zavage whatever the community's getting, you know, is building up over time. And I won't have to start from nothing. You know, I already have like some audience that can come over and support. If it is like a small studio where people can come dance or people can come exercise, you know, I also love exercise, whatever it is, you know, they can always have separate, you know, lines of this is for dancers, you know, even if it's like one pair of shorts or like a shirt, you know, for the dancers, and then this hat is for rappers, you know, whatever floats the boat.
I definitely see the idea you're going at. So do you feel like it's hard branding yourself?
Yes, it is hard, specifically because of how many people are starting to do clothing lines and how easy it is and accessible. But what I do find is that you have to be persistent and consistent, because when I do search other clothing lines, because, you know, I want to see what's out there, what's for competition, etc. I do search, and a lot of times there's clothing lines that have started, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, and they're not even there no more. You click the website and it's like not available anymore. But it's just about, you know, continuing, being persistent, and just I try, like in my Instagram, I try to always put up something new, do more products so people know, you know, I'm actually doing something.
You're still active.
Yeah.
You're still. So is it hard basically trying to network, maybe do you find yourself maybe going to other clothing lines, or maybe like a clothing line that you look up to, and asking them like what works, what makes you stay active, what makes people want to buy your line, basically?
Yeah, I will want to connect with somebody like that has a clothing line. What I do, now that I don't have really that many friends with big clothing lines, I do have another friend that started his own clothing line as well. But as if other higher clothing lines, what I do is just like go on social media or YouTube, and there's a lot of people who actually started and then giving out advice, stuff like that, or other people that already have large clothing lines. Like this one YouTuber, his name is Christian Guzman. He has a clothing line which is more like focused on athletes and gym wise. So looking at on YouTube is a lot of help, just if you want to learn how to market, etc. I mean, there's information out there. It's just really taking that information and actually doing something with it. I mean, anybody can do it, but whoever does it is the one that's going to succeed.
So do you find, you went to school for business, correct?
Yes, I'm getting my business administration
Awesome.
degree from Stevenson University. I'm almost done. I have a semester left.
Congratulations.
Hopefully you get to the world, start.
Right. Are you actually using the stuff that you're learning?
There's some stuff that I'm using. What I learned in school is specifically more for bigger companies, but I'm also doing a track in entrepreneurship, and that track really helps. Just specifically knowing like in prices and stuff and marketing. It's really helpful because I can use what I learned and put it into the company. That's one of the reasons I wanted to start before I even graduated,
right.
So I can get a feel of.
By the time you graduate,
yeah,
you can be like pretty much set.
I already have some momentum going, some audience, and from there I can just use whatever I have left and then continue learning, trial and error, pretty much.
Do you see, since you're doing so well now, do you see maybe your business like hosting an internship for other young people who want to start a business but don't know where to start or don't know what to do, and maybe you can like guide them in the right footsteps?
Yeah, that's also something else. I'll definitely be interested in the future in just internship or just setting up an arena or somewhere where people can communicate with each other, or people that are like-minded and want to start a business. Because that's one of the things that happened when people starting to realize that I had a clothing line. A lot of people started to DM me or message me like, "How'd you do it? Like, what do I have to do to start my clothing line? I want to do photography." Questions like that I would like to answer, when I'm a little bit more ahead, because I don't want to give them my answers like I'm not really sure about.
I can understand.
But I'll definitely, reach out to, anybody who has questions. All the people that have reached out to me, I tend to answer them, and I also let them know the truth that it's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between just having a hobby, selling a couple t-shirts and actually doing it. Because right now, I'm not making any money because I am investing in all the essentials, like the expenses, like the website, and just in general setting up stuff for the future. I'm trying to get a lot of camera stuff so I don't have to pay for photography but just do it all myself.
Right.
And then just in general, like the website and software, all that I pay for now, and in the future, I don't have to worry about.
Exactly. So do you feel like that's the hardest part about starting your own business? Just being able to generate money to keep it up until you get basically off the ground?
I think one of the hardest things to do is to realize that everybody's not going to support you.
Yeah. Because
from the beginning, I mean, when I first started, I bought like 50 white hats, and of course at the beginning everybody is going to help you out, everybody's going to buy one. But then after a month or so, 2 months, 3 months, that starts to die down. So people have to realize that just because people buy it first because they're supporting you, but then you have to start marketing and putting in money to actually reach other people that don't know you but only buying because of the brand, not because of the connection you have with them. That's one of the hardest things I have, and just being able to continue and be persistent, even though sometimes you don't get a sale for 2 weeks or a month, but you have to continue and continue to persevere. I mean, right now you have to work hard for in the future. So in the future, you have multiple customers, and you only have products available for everybody. Limited.
I can understand that. Definitely, that's like the goal. So do you see maybe Zavage getting a store, or do you want to say small for right now?
For right now, I don't want to create a store just yet. But if I do create a store, it might be just more of a hangout or photography, not mostly a store, but more like where I do photo shoots. People can come check out some of the limited clothing that I have.
Okay.
But not specifically like any normal store. It'll be something like a little bit different. Like half a store, half of like, photo shoots. You can come take a picture for your Instagram, to post out, more marketing wise, stuff like that. Nothing too big.
Do you feel like you need a whole store for that, or maybe just like maybe not a storefront, but just maybe you could rent a space out in like not a store but like a cafe or something where you can do things like that and you can market and have your own area, probably like an office area?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea to start off. Would be I could rent out a certain spot or a location within a spot, or maybe just if I do get a bigger audience, I could do meetups. And what I'm trying to do is try to get into other events where there's other businesses there, and then people can come visit and just check out our clothing. That way, you move around and have multiple audiences, because when you do create a store, and then you have a customer that's really far away, it's really hard for them to travel over.
Right.
I mean, it's a great experience, you know, travel far just to see the store, but at the same time, you know, you don't want them to do all that.
Right. Okay. Well, before you go, can you please plug yourself in? Tell people your name, how they can find you, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so our Instagram for the clothing line is actually Zavage_Clothing, and the Zavage is with a Z. And then my Instagram is ERWIN_SAENZ. That's my first and last name. And then the clothing line, if you want to check out our website, is also SavageClothing.com with a Z. And you can find me there, find most of the models that I do. Most of the pictures on there I took myself, if not other friends or people that helped me out with the pictures.
You can shout them out as well. You can shout out everybody who's part of your team and who goes support you. I definitely don't want to leave nobody out because this is growing and I see it becoming something big. So yeah, I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, of course. I just want to shout out my friends, Natividad Alvarado and German Constanza, my cousin Yeraldi. She's starting to help me out with the clothing line. She's giving me advice with the women's clothing because, you know, of course, I can't model those at all. So she gave me advice with that. And then just my parents, my sister helps me out. My little sister, she really wants to help me out, wants to start selling. Her name's Ketsi, and then my other sister's Lucy. So they really help me a lot, and they tell their friends. So I'm gonna give them a little shout out.
Alright, shout out to Zavage. Thank you so much for coming. You're welcome like anytime. And definitely when you're gonna do that meetup because I'll come with my hat. So
yes, definitely I would like to come back. Maybe when I get more products, or we just talk about business in general.
I'm cool with
If
everything.
anybody has questions on starting their own business,
yes.
you know.
You gave me an idea. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me again, and we'll be back.
Alright, we're gonna take a little music break, but we will be back.